Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And since it's been about a week since Halloween, I can't get Smile 2 out of my head. And honestly, it was one of the most unexpected films that that I have that I have enjoyed this year. And 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 this video I'm gonna be diving into what made it stand out to me and why it was such a surprise hit for me and and what I think it brings to the horror genre. So I'm ready to get into it, everyone. I'm ready to get into it. So let's start from the top. Like I will say I was let's start from the top. I've experienced this horror film on the big screen. The- Like like I've experienced this horror film on the big screen, and but movie this movie happens to be my first horror movie I got to see on the big screen on actual Halloween night, and it happened to be Smile 2. Like, I will clarify this. I have seen horror films on the big screen before, but Smile 2 was better than the first film. Like, I even took my mother to see it, and she loved it. Like, she was petrified. Like, like, let me start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning. The first Smile movie turned out to be hands down garbage. Like, like this, like, like it did have an interesting premise, but the overall execution fell flat. Period. Like, I will confess, it did have some good jump scares, but the performances lacked depth, and Parker Finn's storytelling was brilliant, and the premise was intuitive. Like, 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 um, but Smile 2, on the other hand, this movie should have been the first one all along. Like, it reminds me of how The Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, should have been the first Mad Max movie. Like, Smile 2 exceeded every expectation I had. Like, I was scared, and importantly, I sympathized with the character, but which I didn't get with the first film. And Naomi Scott delivered a phenomenal performance. Like, to me, it was one of the best female lead performances I've seen in a horror film. Like, I absolutely loved it, and she nailed it. Like, the story was so engaging, and during the scary parts, I literally jumped from my seat, and my mom and I were hooked. Like, we were so engrossed in the narrative that that eh, that like like even we even we went into Sky Riley's psyche. Like it's a brilliant film that sometimes gets mind bending in a fantastic way. And my mom was on the edge of her seat, and even a couple next to us was as well. Like, I remember the boyfriend telling her girlfriend that he didn't want to finish this movie, but the girlfriend was like, "It's so much fun!" Like, it was such a hilarious moment, and me, my mom, and the entire room had a laugh, a good laugh. Like this experience was one of the best cinema going adventures that I've ever had. Like, on Halloween night, I watched one of the scariest movies that I've ever seen this year in the modern realm of horror. Like, originally, I wanted to see Terrifier 3, but I opted for a movie that my mom could handle. Like, I have to say, it was the best choice I've ever made. Like, I thought it was gonna be a mid movie at first, but it turned out to be a fucking masterpiece. Like, like that night when I got home, I didn't even felt like watching John Carpenter's Halloween because I wanted Smile 2 to be fresh in my mind. Like, like I look at this movie as a one-off. Like, this movie stands as a perfect one-off. Like, it's like it's a it's a better standalone film. Like, I can't stress enough how much I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but I did. I will absolutely purchase this movie on Blu-ray, but I have to confess, the most important thing that I want to highlight is I hope I don't jinx it by declaring it a masterpiece. But deep down, I believe it truly is. Like, it's a masterclass in terror and originality and in the horror genre. Like, I see horror sequels, particularly movie sequels in general, that are made by the same writer and director as original works. But in that light, I consider Smile 2 as one of the best, if not the best horror movie I have seen this year. Like, subjectively, it's the best movie I've experienced on the big screen. Like, it was so fucking awesome. It was phenomenal. Like like I said before about the audience, there were some good laughs along with the heart, and I would say this experience, I feel like this is like the best audience that I've ever been around with for this cinema going adventure. Like, it was such an extraordinary experience, but like this movie, you, in a way, I think I've expressed my thoughts adequately, but I will I will say that this movie is a quintessential piece in the realm of horror, and deep down, me and my mom were freaking out that the intensity was everything that I want from a horror movie. Like, I was so freaked out. Like, I never been that freaked out in a long time in a horror movie. Like the last time I was freaked out was for last year's Talk to Me, which is one of the finest pieces of original horror. Like, that movie, to this day, I still regret that I wish I experienced it on the big screen. But Smile 2, I was more freaked out and more terrified than Talk to Me. Like, that's how good it is. Like, Smile 2 and Talk to Me are up there as what I consider the best as one of the best horror movies in this modern era, because majority of them aren't even that good in my opinion. Like, I find them so dissatisfying, and they leave me so much to ponder. like that, like, it left me with so much to ponder. And and yeah, like, deep down, when I think about the month for October, I have seen a lot of great horror films. Like, as you all saw in my first video, I revisited my beloved Saw franchise, but and I saw a lot of good films this in October. Like, it was such a good month for me watching movies that I haven't seen and revisiting old gems that I haven't seen in a long time. But I would say, for the movies that I have seen for the first time, I would say that Smile 2 is at the top of my list as the best movie I've seen in October. Like, even though it's not just the best horror movie of 2024, but it's the best movie I've seen that month. And I am, in a way, I would say I am grateful that I was able to entertain my mom, especially as she's been going through a rough time. And, like, I wanted to choose something she could enjoy. So, like I said about Terrifier 3, but this is what I was thinking. I really want to see Terrifier 3, but since my mom wanted to tag along, I thought, fuck Terrifier 3. Me and her are watching Smile Part 2. And she enjoyed it, and we both had a blast. And plus, she even cursed my ass out during the movie because she was so petrified. That it was such a fun time. I finally got to scare someone. But I would say I would say this video is dedicated to my mother. Like, I love you, Mom, and I had an extraordinary cinema going experience with you, and and that night has been without a doubt the best Halloween of my life. Like, my experience was not just immersive. It felt life-changing as a cinephile and a horror enthusiast, and spending quality time with my mom made it even more special. Like, while I didn't do anything particularly wild this Halloween, I would say it does hold a special place. It holds a deep, significant place for me, and I consider it as one of the best Halloweens I've ever had. And I, I can't, I can't leave, I can't leave this out. But Parker Finn, you sly dog, you decide to play yourself as a photographer, taking pictures of Naomi Scott in the first act of the movie. Smart move. Oh my God, you, Jesus Christ. Jesus. No, I'm not gonna say that part, but I will say it was one of the best movies I've seen this year, and overall, it was. I will say, Smile 2. I hesitate to jinx it, but this movie is a solid 10 out of 10. Like, it's a solid 10 out of 10. It was extraordinary. It was such an extraordinary film. So, so deuces.